Terence opens the interview by telling us about the origins of George Markstein's inspiration for the series.
It was more or less general knowledge among us all that there had been this establishment during the war, an island in the Hebrides where they had a magnificent library, a cordon bleu chef, and a lot of pretty ladies. That the problem had been during the war that we trained spies, but you couldn't put him back into normal civilian life. He knew too much. And that was the story originally that it was intended to tell. But the Official Secrets Act, for one, got in the way. And so it had to become fantasy based on that. And this is where I think Pat came in, with the idea of using that as a basis, but let's not be bound by reality. Since we can't tell the real story, that's a classic case of the establishment manipulating people. Since we can't tell that as a real story, let's use the framework of that to tell a much wider story.
How did you become involved with Everyman Films Limited?
Well, McGowan and Tomlin and I all got on so well, and all seemed to be so much on the same wavelength, that we decided to set up our own independent company and do what we wanted, following The Prisoner. I mean, carrying The Prisoner through to its conclusion, but then building on that to expand our horizons and to do other things that we wanted to do. Those being specifically Ibsen's Brand, with Pat playing the lead, with which he made his huge success in the West End, together with an action-adventure movie, not precisely on the Danger Man lines, because in fact it was set in Northern Ireland and it had an IRA background, which made it very much ahead of its time. They're all starting to appear on BBC Two now as if they're new, you know. We were doing it then. However, for reasons which I think I've already explained, that deal fell through because our finance was coming from Lou Grade, and because of some difference of opinion between Lou and ourselves, he withdrew the finance, for which I don't blame him, because I think he was entitled to do. I think that we were probably being unreasonable in our last push for something that we didn't really need.